Here we go, episode 40 coming at you here on Horse Race Bets as we're getting closer to the Kentucky Derby. 45 days remaining until we get to that big race. But after this weekend, everything's going to change because the points, right, the qualifying points, these Derby prep races, will increase dramatically. They'll basically double, 100 points now for the winner of the race. That immediately puts that winner top of the list, right, and changes everything else that's happening behind it. But the thing about what we're doing here with the Kentucky Derby and any horse race, we're projecting, we're predicting, right? We're playing Nostradamus. We're saying based on the past performances or the pedigree of the horse or the training pattern, whatever the case may be, the distance, we're projecting or predicting that this horse will do blop, blop, blop. And then the end of the race will result in that, right? So the greatest challenge is trying to figure that whole puzzle out when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. You've got 20 horses going a mile and a quarter. Most of them doing something, both of those things for the first time and maybe the only time they will ever do that. So it's really intriguing to see if you can pick who's going to be left when the dust clears and the whole scramble thing wraps up. That's fun. So let's have some fun today. All right, we're going to decide to take a look if the Kentucky Derby were being run today. What would that look like? Of the 20 horses we have that have currently qualified, remember, this thing's going to completely change after Saturday. But the horses that are qualified now, let's take a look at them and see how the field kind of stacks up and see if we can pick a winner with this field of 20. And based on the past performances and what these horses have done, right? You see Coal Battle, Owen Almighty, Citizen Bull, Sovereignty, American Promise, Flood Zone, Journalism, Getaway Card, Chancer McPatrick, and Built. That's your first 10. The red check marks, if you know anything about what's happening, those are obvious speed horses or horses that have consistently shown they want to get out there on the front end. Now, I don't believe Getaway Car is going to be in the Derby. If Bob's got one speed horse and Citizen Bull, I don't think he's going to add two more. But you never know. Owners probably want to be there. Take a look at your second half, right, of your field. Once again, these are your top 20 point earners as of today. Madaket Road, I don't think he's going to be in the Derby, but if he's there, he's speed, right? Burnham Square, Sandman, Render Judgment, Omaha, all closers. Speed King has shown some speed. He has to be involved if you want to have any chance of winning this race if he gets into the gate. Chunk of Gold is the deep closer. River Thames, he'll be up there if he's in this race. Sand Devil, and then Hill Road is that turf horse that's going to be the last one to get in for Chad Brown. Okay, so let's say this is our field, right? What does it look like coming out of the starting gate? Well, the only horse that I've seen thus far that consistently breaks well and consistently goes to the front end is Citizen Bull. So I'm saying, why would that change on Derby Day? He's going to try to go. Will he have company? Yes, it'll be a pressured pace. Owen Almighty has to go. And according to the field we have right now, if Madaket Road and Getaway Car are there, what else are they going to do? They got to be close as well. Speed King has to be close if he wants to have any shot of staying close to these horses. River Thames also. Now, I am not expecting a 6 or 7 horse scramble on the front end, right? That's not going to happen ever again. That hasn't happened since we had the sprinters that qualified, i.e. the Giacomo year 2005, where you had these sprinters that had no business going a mile and a quarter, and they were going nuts on the front end. Not going to happen this year. But there should be some pressure on the front end for the opening quarter mile. Now, I don't think we'll get a song and a prayer, right, type of opening quarter where they're going absolutely bonkers there on the front end. But, okay. Now, moving around, getting close to the half mile. Now you've got your pressers and your stalkers that are trying to get into position. Coal Battle has enough speed to put himself wherever he wants. Chancer McPatrick, when I saw that race in the Tampa Bay Derby, that horse can also place himself kind of wherever he wants to, and he just needs a target, needs something to happen up front. So they'll be in a good spot, and I think those two horses are very, very dangerous because of that's kind of that stalking speed that they have, right? Still around the Kentucky Derby half mile point, we've got our closers trying to move a little bit closer, right? So Hill Road, who's way back there, starts to move up a little bit to try to get into position. Same with Journalism and Sovereignty. Maybe even Sandman. They all try to find a spot to go. And if you go back and watch the other Kentucky Derbies, like watch Rich Strike, even though that horse is last early on, Sonny Leon starts kind of easing his way through and trying to find a spot. You don't wait until we're turning for home to make that move. You're trying to get in position like Calvin Borrell would do. He was always last with his runners, but when you saw them around the half mile, he's starting to inch up a little bit, and that's what's going to start happening with these closers here. They're going to try to put themselves into position. Now we've made our way through. Now stuff gets crazy because now down the stretch they come in the Kentucky Derby, the old Dave Johnson call. Down the stretch they come. Citizen Bull, Cole battle. They're already up there on the front end. Citizen Bull is hanging, and he's getting rid of some of the speed. Owen Almighty, American Promise, they're backing up. Built finds himself in the mix. Sandman is moving up. Journalism moving up. Sovereignty moving up. Hill Road also moving up. Now, what's going to happen when they get into that real serious running deep in the stretch? And I feel like it's horses that have shown me that they will continue to come, continue to run, just continue to grind and grind and grind. And in my opinion, a crazy thing is going to happen when they hit the wire in the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. The European horse with the outstanding American pedigree, Hill Road, will get an inside trip up through the rail, and Hill Road, because of that ground-saving trip, is going to just barely nose out Journalism to win the Kentucky Derby. And Hill Road, by the way, will be a massive price. He will be 45-1. And we're going to get all the money because we're going to bet Hill Road to win. We're going to key him on top in our exacta, and we might even key him on top in a trifecta. Right? Isn't that fun? So if you have to be able to imagine or visualize how this works out. And the reason why Hill Road is the runner that I think is left standing after all this is happening, I just like the way he's been developed. We all like the way he ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile against the bias, the only horse making up ground that weekend. And then he came back and showed us after he had a little bit of a layoff, a long layoff, right? Hadn't run since then, came back, Tampa Bay Derby. I thought it was a really nice performance. He had no way to catch Owen Almighty because there was no pressure. Owen Almighty got to slow it down for that second quarter mile, and by the time they got to the half, he'd had a break. He had a breather. You're not catching that horse. You don't get any breathers in the Kentucky Derby, not that I know of. So Hill Road, I believe, is the right horse at the right time. And I think that lightly or lighter raced horses around this time of year have an advantage. So Sovereignty got a little break, he'll be ready to go. Journalism got a little break, he'll be ready to go. Hill Road got a little break, he'll be ready to go. Chancer McPatrick got a little break, he'll be ready to go. I think those horses are going to be live and interesting, and that's how I see it. It could be wishful thinking, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. All right, so that's how we do that here on this 40th episode of Horse Race Bets. It's going to be so much fun. Don't forget, I told you, Hill Road, massive price. If he's in the gate on Kentucky Derby Saturday, he's in the winner's circle at the end of it. All right, that's going to do it for us here in the meantime, in between time, and until next time on Horse Race Bets, I will see you then. We'll get set to play a little Turfway Park this week, and of course get you set for what's happening at the fairgrounds this weekend as well. Until then, good luck and enjoy whatever you're into.